Well, hey, thank you for tuning in to SFLiberalBuzz, where we're taking back the word liberal. Where we're tired of the three branches of government, which are the financial, the prison, and the pharmaceutical branches of government. We think that they're not really having our best interests at heart, so let's be real liberals and take the word back. And so we have a lot to get to today, and I'm Denise Dory, your host.
And I'm Eli Hernandez.
Yeah. And we've got a lot. We went to City Hall today to talk about expanding the green zone, and that was voted in by the planning department, so that's a news flash. And I'm going to do some Twitter here. We've got not many tweets last week because the computer's been down. So the former supervisor read it on Senator Yee early on. That was by the lawyer. We're going to cover that story soon. And Yee had a role in a case against Ed Jew, who profited off a cannabis club while deceiving the public. He actually charged triple rent to his tenants, the cannabis dispensary. So NORCAL, who did a hostile takeover. And then the FBI coordinated the crackdown on Occupy. So that's revealed, although we already knew that. You can go to that on Twitter feed. There's some interesting aspects to it I haven't heard yet. And the SFPD killed a scholarship student and security guard after recent arrival, and gentrifiers got suspicious and called the cops. I suppose we've got to not be afraid of brown people so much. Just, calm down. Okay, so let's get to the rest of my notes here. I've got, we are wondering if cannabis initiatives can help voter turnout for liberals, because liberals might take a beating in 2014 if we don't motivate people with maybe a cannabis initiative on the ballot. So, but MCLR, I don't know how many signatures we've collected a few signatures, and so have you. And
I've collected approximately about a couple hundred.
So that might make the ballot this year, despite having no money as yet, no donor.
We've got optimism.
But the law is written pretty well by the community, so it will make it to 2016, and when people feel like doling out money during the presidential election, because more people do go to the polls and it's a better chance of passing.
But if people wait until 2016, that gives an opportunity for more liberals to get money in their pockets.
And lobbyists.
And lobbyists as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the time to act is now.
It is. It is. And will Waterfall Wellness get a permit with Jim Crow laws and clustering? Because Waterfall Wellness, we know, was displaced by a dispensary called NORCAL. I'm going to get into that, Ed Jew, his involvement with that situation. And because when we gave public comment today about hostile takeover, we made news and we exposed a loophole in the law about people being able to take over another business. So, and that loophole was exploited pretty well. And oh, by the way, newsflash: get a street sheet while I'm thinking of it. Always buy a street sheet. It's good writing, good liberal views. So then we've got Ed Jew. Let's get to him. I suppose I'll take your advice and show this. Okay, so y'all can follow this along at home with me if you like. The San Francisco Health Department and SFPD did not investigate the mess they found at 1545 Ocean Street, a building owned by the disgraced former Ed Jew, who was a supervisor of District 4, and continued to allow NORCAL, aka Waterfall, which is not Waterfall, it used to be, that was a good dispensary owner, to operate after a hostile takeover this year. Department of Health found after a fire a large grow house above the city permitted MCD that was not only unsafe and caused a fire, but it was stealing. And PG&E, and they had a loaded weapon too. They were stealing PG&E.
Stealing PG&E is considered a felony.
Yeah, and after a cleanup, a team, they had their chances to actually enforce it way before this happened. But
did I hear you correctly when you
chance.
said loaded weapon?
A loaded weapon. Well, they have to protect their business. A lot of people have them. A lot of businesses have loaded weapons. But anyway, it's a double standard. Cannabis dispensaries and loaded weapons just really make the authorities very uneasy. So afterward, a cleanup team came in and broke up down NORCAL and created Waterfall Wellness, a well-run club then as Ed Jew, who is the owner of the property and is shifting from federal custody and perhaps done giving all the information he could into county hands for fraud, another layer of fraud ensues. NORCAL did a hostile takeover push to push out the good guys, and the Jew and NORCAL signed a lease nearly 3 times market rate. They started paying employees more to stay and turn their back on and anyone catching how much money is being shuffled here, and it's a lot. It's they can charge triple rent. So the lease guys from NORCAL they signed is very short. These employees don't have job security, and the patients and neighbors alike are being defrauded. And it's not Waterfall Wellness, even though they call it that. It's NORCAL, Ed Jew's association. And so Leland Yee was Ed Jew's mentor and brought him into the political world. And so now Ed Jew kind of ratted out on Leland Yee. So
I remember a time when Ed Jew stated, everything I learned from Leland Yee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's before he was sentenced, he agreed to cooperate with the government, and mostly it was about activities with Leland Yee. And the U.S. attorney handling the case decided they weren't interested, and I wonder what they would think now. Hanlon said Jew went into great detail about the way Yee worked and how he demanded money in return for political favors. The impression I got was that public service included the way to get money. And Hanlon said, and that representative of the people, they gave you money, you helped them. That's what he learned from Leland Yee. And even though Jew served his sentence for the federal conviction, he faces more time in jail on his state conviction for lying about where he lived when he ran for office, because you're supposed to live in the same district where running for office ends. So Leland Yee's political career should have ended in 1991 when a school board member, he got his kids into a preferred school by lying about his address or other things, so I'm not going to go into
Wait, politicians lie?
his dirty laundry. So there's that, and so we've got more about that. Yeah, you wanted to. We had some public comment about that at the planning department today, and it starts with the planning department wanted to decide about the saturation of cannabis clubs allowed, and whether they could only have 2 on one street. So
the planning department calls it clustering.
Clustering, yes.
Yeah, we call it a high saturation.
And the green zone is very small on Ocean Street itself, and only one application for a permit is in correct compliance with zoning. And so yeah, it's like musical chairs, where only one can apply. And when the music stops, the other one's just out of luck. And these applicants are not the new people on the block, but established, compassionate providers in the district. The two, those were the ones who were taking over the real Waterfall Wellness. And the 2 currently operating MCDs were grandfathered land uses. So there's one in 1944 Ocean. We're talking about Mars Club, but he's no longer there. He just kind of disappeared into the night. So that club is managed by someone else, and we don't know them. I can't say they're good or bad. I don't want to say anything.
Disappeared sounds like Ed Jew's political career.
Right. Oh, sure. And their 1545 Ocean had a hostile takeover, as we said. The other one was NORCAL, that it used to be. And 1944, which was recently switched hands in a peaceful yet still not transparent manner. So that means that was another takeover, but it wasn't necessarily. It might have been a hostile takeover, but the people are nice people. So were they hostile? I don't know. They're nice, but they're hostile. We don't understand the support of a careful pre-application process, furthering the doctor process and the finding to assure that the city has the best on our map, as we want to have the best operators that serve the patients. And so then it goes on, then simply allowing the change of ownership to occur in the darkness or via the back door, that's not transparency at all. So
yeah, we're asking for open transparency.
Yeah, the kind where you can see things.
Exactly, where the neighbors know everything. You move into you want to open an MCD in the neighborhood? Hey, neighbor, we're coming here hello, we want your opinion. It's like, hey, we're part of the neighborhood. This is what open transparency is. Right now, there is none.
No, there isn't. There's loopholes.
I know.
You could drive a truck through. And the 1545 Ocean Club into the hands of the prior permittee in violation of city laws. In no other business arena would that be allowed to continue to operate. It violates the public trust and neighbors and portends a lot and patients alike. Can you imagine going home and there's, instead of your mother being there, there's a big, like I go home and say, Mom, you don't look like my mom, you look like a big gorilla, and the dinner tastes awful. You know, well, you're not my mom, are you? You know, same thing. You know, they didn't tell me. You know, but you know, I can see that they aren't after a while, and it's the same with us. They expose what their policies change and the products change. So we're neutral on the legislation, but request it to be sent to the board if passed with recommendation that Department of Public Health to review their policy and process of transfer ownership, closing loopholes, and securing a transparent public hearing and notification.
Yeah, if anyone is unaware, the Department of Public Health is the one who actually is supposed to regulate these transfers of licenses.
Yeah, so you can actually go and look them up, you know, online, like you would with any name change
or any business association.
Fictitious business, yeah. MDC Medical Cannabis Dispensary, surrounding immediate neighborhood merchants, and we respect the commission very much for their decisions. I get along better with them than the board of supervisors these days, don't you?
At times we happen to disagree, but we do agree on certain matters.
We do.
And because I stated today during the meeting about open transparency as well, and not about clustering, but a high saturation. I also reminded the board that they're the exact body that gave permission for a certain, how do you say this, pharmaceutical company. A pharmaceutical company to have a location on around 3rd and Mission, then 2nd and Mission, then there's one downstairs. I made a good example that if I go to Walgreens and I have a cough, I can get a Robitussin for about $6.43. Line's too long, I'll go down the street, get the exact same product for the exact same price. MCDs are totally different. They specialize in different objects. One may specialize in edibles, another can specialize in the smoking cannabis, others will specialize in tinctures, because not every single patient is the same or different. Because some patients cannot actually inhale the cannabis smoke, they need edibles.
Or oils.
Or oils, exactly.
The vapor pens now coming out. There's so many different products related to cannabis that it's hard to carry them all in one dispensary. It's, you know.
And some dispensaries primarily do not sell the medical smoking kind. They base on oil rubs, oils, and edibles.
Yes, they have a lot of specialties. It's amazing how we've lost dispensaries like HopeNet, and HopeNet was kind of, it wasn't a hostile takeover, but HopeNet had to close. The feds closed HopeNet after a school moved in near HopeNet. So it's called a move to nuisance.
Wait, HopeNet was basically abiding by all city and county and state regulations.
Yes.
And yet the federal government still closed them down.
And they were giving away more medicine than they sold, really.
That was a true compassion.
And so it's the same with the Folsom Street Fair now. They want to move a school in near the Folsom Street Fair on between 8th and 9th, where Folsom Street Fair is. That's the main block, really. And so what's that going to do to the Folsom Street Fair? Are they going to have to stop the Folsom Street Fair because a school moved in?
I thought the Folsom Street Fair participates off school hours.
Still, though, they would still want to do that. I was talking to Tom Taylor last time. He said he thinks that perhaps the school the developers really want to open up that area because there's a lot of old buildings that they could tear down and they want to clean it up and make it palatable for the gentrifiers. Yes, I don't know how else to put it.
So they want to build what, businesses or housing?
Yeah.
Housing,
you know.
is it market rate, condo, low income? What kind of housing is it going to be? Subsidized?
No. Well, have you seen any built yet?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
What did it say yet?
Not a stick. So there's that, there's all that, and, so we were gonna also talk about the shuttle bus appeal. There was a hearing.
Oh yes, the Google shuttle bus.
Tuesday, the hearing on April 1st, and with Muni, $1 billion behind budget, because they're not investing in it. The buses are like sardine cans, and they're late.
Well, the buses need new maintenances, repairs, cleanliness, and they also need to run on time, of course.
Yeah, there need to be more of them. And,
Yeah, and for example, when there's a Giants game, they should not pull the trains from the Sunset and the Bayview just for Giants fans.
well, so the Board of Supervisors, I just couldn't believe they would do this. I couldn't even sit through the hearing and what some of the I won't say who, because it doesn't, they were talking about, oh, well, these buses they're not a problem, but other people were arguing, well, they tear up the streets, they cause people not to be able to see the businesses, they block street views, they also have diesel fuel, which is very
when
toxic.
they idle. Yeah, Muni buses are non-diesel. They can idle there for an hour, and the percentage that the carbons will go into the air would be less than 1%. You got a charter bus who idles a diesel fuel. That's gonna cause some major greenhouse effects here.
Indeed. So I can't believe that where Eric Marr wasn't there. Now I have one question. Maybe you can answer for me about the vote being 8-2. Eric Marr was gone. Now were some of them voting no on the appeal to the $1 shuttle bus? Because only the two really progressive ones voted yes.
Yeah, that was Supervisor John
appeal.
Avalos and David Campos.
Yes, to appeal the $1 fee for using the bus stops by the shuttle buses. So that was voted, but Eric Marr was absent, so are they going to recall the vote? Because it didn't seem like that was the final vote.
Well, it is a majority. I'm not sure. I didn't stick around for the entire end of it, so I'm
call
not
and
sure
let
if
us
there's
know.
continuation.
There's the number right
The
there.
number is 415-861-6648. Right here.
Right there.
So if you have any more information you'd like to share, please do. I also want to bring up another matter. Former San Francisco Supervisor Chris Daly, I want to get his title correctly. He is currently the Political Director for Service Employees International Union Local 1021.
Yeah, Chris.
Yes, okay.
I wore his t-shirt last show.
It's a shame that this man termed out.
It is. We need him now.
Yes. He is, I'm going to quote him. He is quoted saying that we have an exceptionally strong legal case that obviously impacts the likelihood of us moving in that direction. What he's referring to is the dollar per stop. My personal opinion is if the city of San Francisco wants to expand this to Google and tech buses, they should allow taxi cabs to legally pick up somebody in a community stop and charge them $1 per stop. Or if somebody is looking at the next bus stop and they say, oh, it's 22 minutes for the next bus, let me call Uber and have Uber be charged $1 per stop at the bus stops. This would be some great revenue for the city. If they want to charge Google buses, they should charge taxis, make them illegal taxi stands. They should allow Uber drivers to pick up passengers from community stops. Right now they legally cannot. But this revenue would help offset the $1 billion deficit Muni is facing. And that, of course, is just my opinion.
Well, with these tech buses, I don't know why they couldn't build housing. We should lobby the government of our government. We should lobby our government to lobby Santa Clara County to change their building code so that they can build more housing and house their tech workers in their industry. Because we only have 4 by 7 square, 4 by 7,
7 by 7.
7 miles long and 4 miles wide.
It's 49 square miles.
Square miles. With the seagull was sign, yeah, and so that's not much room, and to build skyscrapers, you're blocking the sun, and it's just, and we've got earthquake, we're earthquake prone, and just all those things. I don't know why they can't lobby the government in Santa Clara to build their housing for them down there.
Speaking of earthquake, California legislators starting to talk about getting early warning systems like Japan has. If you've ever been to Japan or anybody's been to Japan, Japan has an early warning system. It's standard on all the phones that are sold there. It's at least 30 to 60 second warning. It's beep, it doesn't tell you how big it's going to be, it just says a quake is coming. That's what we need in San Francisco.
Yeah, instead of you hear the siren every Tuesday at noon.
Yes.
Ever
Oh my
since
gosh.
the war. It's to test the system, to make sure that they can tell us, over the intercom, tell the entire city what to do.
Yeah, tsunami's coming, time to go to higher ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately it doesn't work when the earthquake's coming.
Head for Nob Hill.
I would head for Yuba Bueno Island.
Yeah, hey, I would head for Sweden. I think it's getting too hot in California. It's really getting quite hot here.
I know every single year since the heat has been recorded, it's been getting hotter and hotter.
We skipped winter. It's frightening. But let's see. I know you had more to talk because we've only got 2 minutes left, and I know you wanted to get to the hearing. You were at the hearing on Tuesday because I missed it. I missed part of it about where I couldn't sit and listen to one of the supervisors.
We have a phone call.
Oh, okay.
And caller, we want to let you know we have 60 seconds for you.
Welcome. You have 1 minute.
Hello, caller. Welcome. Okay.
Never mind. It's too late.
Well, we have in 2 weeks we have a special guest, a community organizer from Community Housing Partnership by the name of Anaxul Rama. We'll be talking.
Yeah,
the next show we'll be talking about
Ban the Box.
Ban the Box, otherwise known as Return to Work.
It's for people that want to work and are trying to make positive change in their lives, should have a fair chance of applying for these opportunities without having to fill out a form saying, have you been arrested?
You've been convicted. You've been arrested of a felony. You've been arrested, period. Right now, the Ban the Box, since before it got signed, people were being denied from housing, from jobs, just because they were arrested.
And that show will be on May the 1st. Next show coming up is called Let's Talk Sports, and that'll be in 7 more minutes. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you May 1st.